Hello, today it is Friday and me, Lydia and Johanna are isolating. There's COVID in our school and church community now, and Johanna's been feeling unwell and Lydia has a runny nose, and I've just been having headaches and feeling tired, which for me that can be normal anyway, but we thought we'd better get tested just so we know whether it is or not, so because we wouldn't want to spread it to other people. So we went and got tests yesterday. The other kids are still allowed to go to school, so we are just waiting for the results and we are isolating for now. So for me that's actually quite nice because it has been very busy the last, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks. So it is nice to just not have to go anywhere or do anything and to just take it easy for a few days.
Yeah.
So one verse that I have been thinking about this last week before we started isolating has been very busy, and I have started teaching Bible stories 4 mornings a week, which I really enjoy, and it's very good for me, but I just find it a lot to keep up with. And I think anything new that you start doing, it can be really a lot to keep up with at first, but the more you do it, the more confident you get and the less exhausting it gets once you get more comfortable with doing it. But sometimes I just find it very daunting, and I don't know, just with some of the Bible stories you just feel like, well, I feel like somebody who's seen a very beautiful scenery and they have to try to paint it, and it's like, how on earth do you get the beauty of it? How do you get the beauty of it and get it onto a painting? Like, it just how do you do justice? And so this last 2 weeks I've been doing the story of creation and Adam and Eve eating the fruit and disobeying God, and it's just felt very daunting to me. Like, how do you get it all across to the children? How do you do the story justice? Because there's so much in those stories, and yeah, I just found it very daunting. So one verse that I've been thinking of and reminding myself is the verse, my strength is made perfect in weakness. So it's actually a good thing when we feel like we can't do something very well, because that's when we pray and we ask God to help us. That's when we know that we need God. And it's in our weakness that his strength is made perfect. And there's another verse that says, when I am weak, then am I strong. So it is a good thing when we feel incapable of doing something, as long as we put our trust in God. Because if we put our trust in God to help us and depend on him, then his strength will be made perfect through us. So that's the verse that's been helpful to me this week, and he has helped me with every story, and it has been really neat. I've really enjoyed it. Part of the reason that I find it daunting is that I have a very bad memory, and so I don't like to just read the story out to the kids, because I find they listen so much better when you're just looking at them and talking rather than reading. And I personally find it hard. I find it easier to listen to people when they're just talking rather than reading something out. You just be quiet for a few minutes.
Okay.
So that's how I like to do the stories for the kids, but I have a very bad memory and I forget details really easily, and so I'm just talking. Could you be quiet, please? Okay. So for me it's very hard to remember the story well enough when I'm saying it, when I'm telling it to the children, so I have to kind of read over it quite a bit beforehand. So that's part of the reason that it makes it more daunting. Some people have really good memories, they talk really easily, talk really well, but for me that is quite a challenge. So that explains more why I find it daunting. So for me that's like my weakness. I have a very bad memory, so I really have to trust God to help me, and that is good, because yeah, it is good to know how much you need God, because then God can help you. Whereas if you think you can do it just fine without him, then he's not going to help you. There is a song called When I Came to the End of Myself, and that's really what that song says in the chorus. It goes, when I came to the end of myself, he was there to give me his help, or his hand. When I said I'm not able, he said I am. In my weakness I discovered the strength of the Lamb. His almighty power I felt when I came to the end of myself. See if you can remember how the song goes. Serving Jesus within my own power, I was doing all I knew to do, but I was not prepared for the hour when a high mountain came into a secret that you may be missing as you struggle to just make it through. You must do more than your best to please Him. Jesus wants to live His life through you. So we'll bring you to a high, rugged mountain for a lesson that you must learn well. And you'll patiently wait for the moment when you come to the end of yourself. And when you come to the end of yourself, He'll be there to give you His help. When you say, I'm not able, He'll say, I am. In my weakness, you'll discover the strength of the Lamb. His almighty power will find when you come to the end of yourself. Or something like that, at least. But I hope you find that encouraging thought that God's strength is made perfect in our weakness, and our weaknesses can make us feel like God can't use us, that we're not good enough, that we're not capable, or we don't have enough talents, or whatever it is. And yet in the Bible, it's those people that God does use. It's the people who feel like they're not good enough, who feel completely incapable. Moses felt incapable, so did Gideon, and I think anybody in the Bible that God used. So yeah, God, when we know that when we feel incapable and we feel that God can't use us, that's when God can, because that's when, our strength, that's when His strength will be made perfect in our weakness. That's when we'll see how much we need God, and that's when we'll depend on God to help us.
Hello?
Are you sick?
No.
No, not really.
Okay.
Aren't you at school?
No.
Are you sick?
No.
No, just a little bit.
No.
No?
No.
Are you happy?
No.
No?
No. No.
So some other ideas for the story of, creation and Adam and Eve. Hannah made this tree for me to use for the kids. It was her idea. So under the fruit, I have put questions about the story, or just questions to think about from the story. What did Satan use to talk to Eve? This is like my own application one. Does God want what's best for you? So that is an idea of questions, and an idea for a snake. I wanted us to use a snake somehow, so anyway, I made a paper chain. So that's one way to make a snake.